June is Men's Health Awareness Month, and it's all about encouraging the men in our lives, both grown and little, to take care of their minds and bodies. So today we're hitting the streets to ask men in the streets how they take care of their health and what we can do to improve mental health in our community. What does mental health mean to you?
I think it means being in a state where you can survive daily stresses in your life, get through things that may be difficult, maybe sometimes seeking counseling or having a network that positively supports you and doesn't tear you down or criticize you.
When I think about mental health, I think about those things that weigh on you, those things that stress on you, and those things that, in fact, that impact your daily life. So I think that's one thing that you always have to keep in mind, that in fact you have to keep in check with yourself.
When I hear mental health, especially for me, I think about surviving.
Think about surviving?
Just throughout my life, it's always been that. Mental health was never really taught to me. Going through those trials and tribulations of that. But me, myself, I always felt it, knew it, but never could really express it.
I say mental health has more to do with coming into some kind of harmony with your total self, and not being, afraid to look at yourself. If there's something, for example, if emotionally I'm not as stable as I would want to be, and I'm being sometimes more motivated by my anger, then I'm unwilling to allow the logics to weigh in, you know what I'm saying? Because we know the mind and the brains are two separate entities. And therefore, thoughts enter our minds, but it's incumbent upon us to recognize, to assimilate the thoughts that are worthwhile, that are more conducive for our development.
So what do you do for your mental health?
I try to stay away from negative things if I can. I try to, my support system will usually allow me to vent without criticizing me. I have some family members who I can just go to and pour my heart out.
I do self-care.
Okay, what does self-care look like for you?
I just finished getting a pedicure across the street. I on a regular basis, again, I'm starting to go to the stretch loft. I did something new. I went to a Pilates class, of all things,
That's really dope.
So it's those things that, you stretch yourself to make sure that you're in check with yourself.
Right.
I pray, I read, and I just.
What you like to read?
I like to read. I like to read history, and I also like to read about self-improvement. What can I do to basically self-improve myself?
I have literature that I read, and then I utilize chess, because chess is a mind-stimulating activity. And so it gives.
I want to play you in chess.
Huh?
I want to play you in chess.
You sure?
I'm really good, actually. I'm actually very good at chess.
Well, I'm glad you are good, because good and good equals what?
Great.
Huh?
Great.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Well, how would you encourage other men, or how would you think that we can encourage men to take care of their overall health, but specifically their mental health?
Right. Look into counseling. Since counseling is now online and you don't have to go into an office, you don't have to sit. There are a lot of sites that will simply say, if you don't like this person, you simply say, I'm going to look at someone else. And for most of us, that's difficult in person. To say to a doctor, a counselor, someone, even a minister, I'm not getting what I want from you, so I'm going to move on to someone else.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact you share that too, because we go sometimes, even if we're going to try counseling or try a therapist, we go there, we already have our preconceived notions. So the moment they do something that meets that, we're done with it.
Right.
But naturally, people do go through a process of, okay, maybe this therapist isn't a fit for me, and then try someone else until you find the one that's the right fit for you. So saying that, I think will, hopefully people can know, okay, that's normal, and that's fine, that's a part of the process.
They need to meet themselves where they are, because a lot of times, it's just whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you feel comfortable in stretching yourself with, because a lot of times, a lot of individuals, they have the stigma of things that, in fact, that they don't want to embrace or to embark upon, because they feel as though there's a stigma that's attached to it, as opposed to being able to, hey, you gotta keep yourself right. And the only way you're gonna keep yourself right is to actually be in check with yourself and actually stretch yourself and be able to do other things that's gonna help you with that mental health, and it's gonna be able to put you forward in a lot of things you do. So.
Right.
Love yourself. But in order to do that, you got to know yourself.
You got to be real with yourself.
You got to get real with self. And if you consider the actions that move you towards your upward self, chances are you're going to be a lot better off with yourself.
As you can see, mental health pertains to everyone, and taking care of your mental health can look different for everyone. It's important, though, to take care of your mental health so you can take care of your overall well-being and physical health. We want to encourage all men to take care of their health and bodies, and to teach our young boys and our young men to develop healthy habits early on. If you're not sure where to start, hit us up at Grapevine Health. We can get all of your questions answered or connect you to any of the resources that you may need.